25 Investigates has an update to our story about that academy that trains court officers in Massachusetts.
Investigative reporter Ted Daniel was the first to report allegations of hazing. He joins us live. And Ted, you've been staying on top of the investigation that's underway now.
It's been going on for several months, Mark and Vanessa, and there is a significant development. A source with direct knowledge of the investigation tells me 2 high-ranking academy employees have been suspended. The Trial Court Academy is an 8-week program on the grounds of Westover Air Force Base in Chicopee. It trains security officers assigned to the courthouses across the state. In June, 25 Investigates reported that an outside team was being hired to investigate allegations of hazing and physical abuse on recruits. I'm told the suspensions are related to information gathered during that probe. The director of security for the trial court has gone on the record saying the alleged hazing and abuse never happened. Right now, the Office of Court Management will only confirm that 2 employees are on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. That's the only information they'll provide to us. Vanessa, the office is not releasing the names, but our team is working to confirm that info, and we will, of course, bring you any updates.
We know you will, Ted. Investigative reporter Ted Daniel will follow along on this investigation with you as well. Thank you.